Hello everybody, this is K Nordic here, with something a little different. Even with my low subscriber count, I've actually gotten a few comments both on Twitter and YouTube that they just got the game, and so I figured why not just try making a tutorial. So this first one right here, and guess what, that's what I'm gonna do. So this first one right here is gonna be the basics. From what I've seen and read on the forums, that when people get this game, they want to get into space and they can't, and they blow up. So I figured I'd try to make this a little less painful, because I know this game, when I got it way back in the early alpha, it was quite a challenge to even get off the ground, and it took hours on trial and error, and which is one of the things I really loved about this game. But yeah, let's just get started. I've started a sandbox game. So we're gonna, and there we go. So we're gonna start out today in the VAB. Probably do another tutorial on space planes a little later. So let's go in and see what we find here. Now I do have some mods loaded, but for this I'm gonna target those people that just got the game, so probably don't have any mods yet. So I'm not going to use any modded parts as of yet. So we're going to talking about how to get into orbit the first time. Personally, I recommend starting small, like with a one-man mission. You can't jump into the shuttlecraft if you feel brave enough and want to crash a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start out with a command pod. I'll move that up just a little bit. I think we're gonna probably just make a two-stage rocket. Yeah, so for the command pod you need something to separate it. Let's not be idiots and forget the parachute, but we'll go ahead and put that on right away. And where is it? Utilities, that's where they are. Okay. And I can't find my parachutes. Yes, I know how to play this game. There we go, that's the chute that fits. Just like that. And then we put a separator, and now you'll, like I said, I do have some mods loaded, so I have additional parts. If you do see some parts that you find interesting, it's KW Rocketry that I got installed. And all these little windows down here, that is Kerbal Engineer. It kind of gives you a little, kind of an overview of what your ship is in parts, but you don't really need it. This game, one thing that's great, you can be a astrophysicist and still enjoy the game, and also you don't have to be one to be able to use it. Anyway, so let's just move on. Another thing we're gonna need is fuel. Here's what a lot of people fail the first time, is that they notice you burn a lot of fuel on takeoff, and you probably run out a few times. So the first thing is you think, oh, I'll just add more fuel. Well, there's the problem. Your ship gets heavier and heavier for every tank, and if you don't add equal amount of power, you're gonna have a bad day. I'm gonna make this a little bit different. I'm gonna go make this a little bit smaller. Let's see here. I'm trying not to pick any of the. Oh, there we go. Any of the modded parts. This is gonna be my deorbit engine. Right there. Right there. We're not gonna get into any RCS or anything for this one. This was just plain get your ship into orbit for the first time. and to tell you the truth, I'm not that great at the game, so I'm not sure why I'm doing a tutorial, but I figured it could be fun to watch someone struggle as much as yourself. Of course, we're in sandbox mode. You can see you have dollars. My main series is not in sandbox, and it's on the hardest difficulty. So I'm really struggling. I haven't quit. I'm actually working on another mission, but it's taking a lot longer to plan it than I anticipated, along with work. So I've been busy. Let's see. We need another separator. There we go. You can see on your bottom right, if you can see my cursor, you got your little, these are your stages, I guess. You got your stage right here to drop this part, engine, this one to decouple your pod, and your chutes, and all that's controlled with spacebar. Now we're gonna get like put in a middle to upper stage. Actually, hold on. Before I do that, I'm gonna add. If you're in career mode, you probably don't have this yet, but I am going to put on an advanced SAS module. Actually, no, I don't want it there. We don't need it. There we go. There we go. A little shuffling. We're gonna put it right there, underneath that, because we're gonna ditch it when we're ready to come back down. And this basically helps control your vessel. And yeah, we're gonna add a middle stage. Fuel. I like to go with that one. I'm not gonna make it too big. 2. Does that sound about right? Or we'll go 1.5. Then we're gonna add a little more powerful engine. Now this could be hard because I have a lot of mods. We're gonna do the one with thrust vectoring. You can see there's a whole lot of text. A little less power, but it helps steer your craft. So hopefully that'll be enough to get us into orbit. Hopefully. I might fail. I might. But then again, it's good to see what not to do. Maybe it should be like an anti-tutorial. Okay. So now we need the bottoms, the first stage. This is going to be the one with the thrusts, and I'm going to make that one quite large. And I'm not going to use any fuel lines. I'm just going to keep this simple, or as simple as possible. Well, that is not what I'm good at. So we're going to go 3 of those. And then we have these side-mounted decouplers. I'll grab that one. I'll just put, I was thinking 6. And there, from there we can put fuel tanks, more fuel. You want to try to get it as center as possible. There we go. We're not going to worry about looks. Alright, let's put the engines on. And for this first stage, I am going to put the more powerful without the thrust vectoring. So we got 7 engines to lift us off. These things are going to burn out before the middle one. And hopefully that'll be enough to get us back up into orbit. What do you guys think? Yeah. Another thing, if your ship is falling apart on the pad, use these strut connectors. And a rule of thumb, you can't have enough. Oops. They can be a little finagly at times. A rule of thumb, you cannot have enough of them. So if your ship is constantly falling apart, put more struts on it. There you go. And since this thing is rather tall, I am going to put a couple of no, I want 2 right there. There's good. And now we can look back over into our stages, and we've got a couple of things a little off here. For example, E6 engines are going to fire before I launch these, what do you call them? Launch stability enhancers with the center engine, and then I'm going to decouple these right away, so that's wrong. I want all 7 engines to fire at once, so you can grab and move these around. And I want these to let me go at the moment I fire the engine. So yeah, and then we got these 6 connectors in here. They're gonna go before the center one, and so I think the rest is correct. We'll call it orbiter. All right, you want to see me fail? Let's let's take a look. I have no idea. It's been a long time since I've kept things simple. Of course, it didn't turn out that simple, anyways. But anyways, I hope this helps and not add to your frustration. That's kind of the goal of this, not whether or not I succeed getting everywhere. Yeah. So we put our SAS on. You can see over here with T. RCS is R, but we don't have any of that. And you can see hand Brett Kerman is ready for takeoff. You got your altimeter. What's that called? Angle of attack, I guess. I'm probably wrong. And yeah, we don't have any missions. Your simulation warp, which I call it. Okay. So let's bring it up to full throttle. You can see that right here. And spacebar to launch. It's going relatively slow, so I might actually be a little too heavy. I'm not going to do those fancy gravity turns which you do later on. I'm just going to simply see if I can get this into orbit. And the easiest way I found when I was just starting out this was going straight up. Straight up. I'll show you the map in a bit. Yeah, I'll put a link to that. Yeah, the clouds are also on mod. I can't remember right now. What's it called? Don't remember, but anyway, I'll put a link to all the mods in the description of the video, so won't miss a beat. So we're about halfway through our fuel in our 6 outer tanks. Keep climbing. Brett is looking a little concerned. He has every right to, because he has no idea how many Kerbals I've killed. By actually being stupid. There's a view, a little dark. going this straight up and then over maneuver for orbit is not a very it's not a very we can actually, if you look at the map, oop, there we go, we can stop our engines right here. It's not a very efficient way to get into orbit, but it's easy because easier because not easy, but it's easier because it gives you time to think. When you're doing the gravity turns, you have to. I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten that right, to tell you the truth. But I do it because it does save fuel. But I do believe on this one we have more than enough. It's a little wobbly. You could use more struts, but it held together nicely so far. There we go. I like to go in the map view now, because you have your Kerbal apoapsis, or apogee if you're in real life. Is that 200? Kind of high. You can get away with that. 70 is the limit for the atmosphere. So you want to actually get pretty close to your apoapsis before you start burning sideways to gain orbital speed. I'm just adjusting it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just fire my. No, I'm gonna wait. So you got a minute and 46. You can fast forward time a little bit. So you don't. Okay. So I like to burn about around 30 seconds from my apoapsis. T minus 45. It's not too bad. And I'm going to go ahead and full throttle. That is Z. We're going to lose those engines now. Stage it. That was messy. And as you can see, and now we're expanding our trajectory. And you want to try to remain as close without going over the apoapsis the whole time. So you can. Some people like to adjust their throttle. I like to. I'll make sure I have fuel. I like to put my nose a little up. It's probably not as efficient. So now we're going. Because once you're past that, you're going back down. And you don't really want that. See how we're doing for fuel. Not too great. We dump that stage and fire. Yeah. Okay, this one is a lot lighter now, so we can actually. And you do want to watch it in this view once you start getting close to an orbit, because you don't want to go too far. And then you fly away into deep space without actually wanting to. And you wait until you'll start to see a periapsis on the other side of the planet. Now you can see how I'm steering it, if you're watching the nav ball. Steering it. And Okay, fine. And there you have it. We have not a bad orbit and a whole lot of fuel left. Spin him around. You can see here's a little window. That's pretty cool. You can go inside the cockpit, take a look. Look out the little window. That's awesome. And there you have it. A fairly simple ship to get into orbit. I'm glad it worked the first time because I wouldn't know what to do. But anything, I hope it helps, and I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm going to be making more of these videos. Still working on episode 23 on my other Kerbal Space program. And yeah, thank you for watching. You have a good day. Bye-bye.